Hey guys, welcome to Tea for Two. This weekend here in Sweden, we're celebrating Midsummer, and so today we're going to be making a perfect summer treat, strawberries and cream cupcakes. Let's have a quick look at what we need. To make the cupcake, we'll start with room temperature butter, 50 grams, caster sugar, 50 grams, 1 medium egg at room temperature, 50 grams of plain flour plus 1 teaspoon of baking powder to help everything rise, half a teaspoon of vanilla. Then for the strawberry jam, we'll need 150 grams of strawberries. I'm using frozen strawberries, but you can also use fresh. To sweeten it up, we'll also need 20 grams of caster sugar. Finally, for the frosting, we'll need 45 grams of mascarpone cheese, 60 milliliters of heavy whipping cream, and optionally 1 to 2 tablespoons of icing sugar. As always, if you're interested in the full written recipe, I've included a link to it in the description box below, so feel free to go check that out. We're going to start with making our strawberry jam, which needs to be cold by the time we make our frosting. So to a small saucepan on medium heat, we're going to add our strawberries and sugar and slowly cook them for around 5 minutes or until it is thickened slightly. Then we're going to transfer our jam to a heat-proof jug where we're going to blend it until it's smooth, before optionally transferring it to another bowl with a larger surface area to help speed up the cooling process. Cover the bowl with cling film or plastic wrap, making sure the plastic comes into contact with the top of the jam to prevent a skin forming, and pop this into the fridge to cool completely. While we wait on that, we can start on our cupcakes. To a mixing bowl, we're going to add our room temperature butter and loosen it for about 30 seconds with a whisk. Then we can add our sugar and cream everything together for a couple of minutes until we are left with a pale and fluffy mixture. To a separate bowl, crack in 1 room temperature egg and add the vanilla before lightly whisking it together. Throw this into our creamed sugar and butter and whisk on a medium speed. Sometimes it starts out looking curdled or split, but just keep whisking and it'll come together. Once the mixture is nice and smooth, we can combine the plain flour and baking powder before sifting them into our wet ingredients. With a rubber spatula, gently fold and mix the ingredients together until you have a well combined batter. Be careful not to overmix the batter at this point, or else we'll end up losing all the air we whisked in. This recipe makes 4 regular cupcakes, so we're going to pop 4 cases into our tin and then evenly distribute our batter. If you want to be super precise, you should get around 50 grams of batter per cupcake. Bake the cupcakes for around 15 to 18 minutes or until a skewer comes out clean. Let the cupcakes cool completely on a wire rack, and then while they're cooling, we can work on the final component, the whipped cream. To a cold bowl, add the mascarpone cheese and loosen it up with a whisk before adding in the cream and optional icing sugar. Whisk this together for about 30 seconds before adding the strawberry jam 1 tablespoon at a time. In total, I added 3 tablespoons, but you can add more or less depending on how you want your cream. Keep whisking until you get stiff peaks. I actually didn't whisk mine long enough, so you'll see I have slightly sad droopy cream when it's piped. Anyway, transfer half the whipped cream to a piping bag, then drizzle 1 tablespoon of jam around the edge for purely decorative reasons, and finish adding the remaining cream. Finally, we can assemble our cupcakes. Start by poking a hole into the center of the cupcake. I'm using an apple corer, but you can always use the handle of a wooden spoon or some chopsticks, whatever you have on hand. Fill the center with some jam, giving it a couple of taps on the table to help the jam drop down. Then pipe on the cream and top with a fresh strawberry. And that's it, strawberries and cream cupcakes. I would recommend assembling the cupcakes just before serving, as the whipped cream frosting will quickly start melting, especially on a hot summer day. But otherwise, enjoy them with a nice cup of tea, or if you have any leftover jam, whip up a quick strawberry milk by simply adding 2 to 3 tablespoons of the jam to a cup and topping with cold milk. Thank you so much for watching, and if you do give this recipe a shot, remember to tag us on Instagram so we can see how you guys get along. We hope you have a lovely midsummer wherever you are in the world, and we'll see you next time as we bring you more recipes that make a perfect tea for two.